Hello and welcome. I'm going to show you how to tie an umbilical tie, which is a softer and more natural alternative to the plastic clamp, which is often used. This is a crocheted piece of organic eco cotton. I use the Linea Pura brand from Lana Grossa, which is a well-known cotton manufacturer. They don't use any chemicals while making this cotton. It's a little bit more expensive, but then you're certain that you have a soft and safe alternative on your baby's belly. You can imagine this is much nicer to have on your baby when you're breastfeeding. It's softer on the belly, it prevents chafing, it doesn't get stuck in clothing or in the diapers. So let me show you how to tie them. It's a very easy knot. Most midwives know how to make one, or if you have a doula maybe they will know, but I would love to show you, and if they're not certain you can refer them to this video. So you keep the flower or heart or whatever ending you have close to the umbilical cord, close to the baby, and I call it the extra for safety knot, because you wrap around the tie to make the knot, but then you wrap it around one more time for extra safety. So this already clamps the umbilical cord, and if you've let the umbilical cord pulsate all the blood to your baby, because 30 to 40% of the baby's blood is still in the placenta at the time of birth, so please let it pump all the blood to your baby, and then after 5 to 20 minutes it will collapse on itself. So the umbilical cord might not even, or will probably not even, need clamping, but just for safety measures you can do this. If you're afraid it might not work, you can use a plastic clamp, which is just as safe and just as possible to break as an umbilical tie, but if you prefer you can use the plastic clamp, then tie the umbilical cord and then remove the plastic clamp. As long as the umbilical cord is not leaking any blood, it's fine, it's safe, it will just dry up and let go of your baby in 3 to 10 days. So as I said, you wrap it around one time extra. So first you keep it across, you want to tie your knot, but you wrap it around one time extra. It's already clamped now. And then you tie a knot, just as you would do with any other cord. But remember, we're using one time extra for safety. So you wrap it around one more time. This, you hold both ends and you tighten it. I'm doing it slow so you can see what's happening. You see these two bulbs and then one in the middle. This is called a surgical knot because they're used in surgeries because they're so tight and they don't let go. So this is a very safe knot. But as I said, we're using one time extra for safety, so we're going to tie one more knot just to be sure. So you see there, both ends are moving towards a side. If you just move them to the other side and then make your knot, you have a regular knot. So just pull this tightly. I'm not pulling extremely tightly because of course I want to untie this later. So just pull it tight like this, and if this part is too long for you, you can easily just make a small knot in the cord just so it won't unravel, because it'll be frilly on that side. You don't want that. Just make a small knot and hold your hand beneath and then safely cut this end. And then you only have this small part attached to your baby, and it's much softer and nicer for your baby than a plastic clamp. It's just as safe. It doesn't need to be sterilized, but if you want that, it's always recommended to sterilize it. Just boil it for about 5 minutes in water, and then let it dry and leave it in your freezer to keep until you're going to use it, and then it's sterile. It doesn't get in contact with anything of your baby which could harm it, but just to be safe, better safe than sorry, right? Just sterilize them. It's easy. But just with plastic clamps, you don't want it to be inside the nappy. They're usually quite long, even with newborn babies' nappies. So just fold the nappy over on your baby, or you can cut out a part of the diaper where the belly button of your baby is, and then make sure in that way that it doesn't get wet or anything. And this, of course, you can keep in your baby book with the umbilical cord attached if you prefer, or put it in a frame and hang it on a wall, whatever you feel like. I wish you a very happy birthing day. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to leave a comment. You can subscribe or watch other films of mine. And I hope you and your baby enjoy this softer, more natural alternative to the plastic clamp. Bye!